Hello everybody, it's Rick. It is August the 6th, 2017. If you need to contact me, it is the email address rick0327@me.com. Okay, a couple of you are submitting your writs, your affidavits, for dismissal under quorum non judice. All right, now you have to at this point, especially if it's the person you're claiming has no jurisdiction, dismissing your affidavit. You can't expect that person to say, yep, you got me. This is a process, which is the reason why I'm having, I switched things up. And the reason why my man got the dismissal in Ohio is that we're flipping the script by presenting these orders before you go to court. Now, my man, I just got an email from my man, Ben Israel, and he filed the quorum non judice. And by the way, the lady just told me, I just got done reading the email, and he said that the guy was nasty to him, and he was threatening to put him in jail. And he filed the the quorum non judice. He went there, and he said he was nervous. That's perfectly normal. But he didn't go to jail. The guy was just like, dismissed. I have jurisdiction. Have a nice day. So he's now in the position to file in a higher court, the appellate court, the writ of mandamus to compel. All right? Because you can't expect that person is not judicial. So that person doesn't even have the authority to rule on that affidavit. But what it is by you having these things filed, these have to be answered. Now, a lot of you have filed affidavits and they don't even answer them. By doing the writ of mandamus, you're compelling these people to respond to your affidavits. A lot of times they don't, but they have to. That's the reason why they're before them. So what they do is they just pick and choose what they want to deal with, or they just dismiss all of them without any reason, which is they cannot do that. Okay? That's not due process. Every order that they issue, every court that issues an order, a valid order, has to have the reasons why. Okay, so like just picture a jury. A jury cannot make a determination unless you present evidence to that jury. So what the jury does is they sit in that room and they deliberate over the evidence, and they'll discuss with each other why the person is guilty or not guilty. You understand? And they go over the evidence. Well, the same thing with an order. An order is supposed to say that as well. An order is supposed to say, this court finds, blah, 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 such and such evidence was introduced, and that gives the court jurisdiction. So, what I do with my paperwork is I demand that a decision of a dismissal cite the evidence, cite the date it was introduced, and cite the exhibit number or letter. Okay? Some courts, they do exhibit 1, exhibit A. It doesn't matter. I do exhibit A, B, C. Okay? You don't have to get fancy with this stuff. Okay? You're right on the bottom of the exhibit. What an exhibit is, it's evidence. So let's say you're going to introduce, let's say we do a writ of mandamus. You're going to introduce an evidence, a letter from the bank saying that they're restraining your money because they received a notice from the child support agency. So you're going to introduce that letter, but that letter is proof that they're restraining your money. And then you're going to introduce, let's say, Exhibit B is your interrogatory demanding the discovery of the warrant to restrain your money, because only a warrant can seize your money. Remember that. Okay, I get questions from people. Rick, does your paperwork apply in this state? It applies in every state because I go by the Constitution. I go by federal law. Okay, federal law and the Constitution applies in every state. But then also, I'll have you in the paperwork. I'll ask you to look up the your state constitution. Let's just say the Fourth Amendment. The right to keep your property. The search and seizure. Okay, the search and seizure. They can only take your property by a warrant. So, if they're taking your money, the child support people, what are we going to be asking them for? A warrant. Now, a child support agency cannot create a warrant. So you see where we're going here? But they're getting away with it because they created all of these administrative rules, and because it's a racket for these judges and lawyers, they'll enforce all of these things. Okay? And it's a business for them. If child support went away tomorrow, there'd be thousands of lawyers out of business. And courts shutting down all over the place. And states losing billions of your tax-paid Social Security that they've taken out of your check. Social Security is a tax. And that's where they're getting that money from. They're plundering your tax money for Social Security, for the states, to give to the states. Under Title 4D. Okay? So, I just got done in that last 2 minutes there, 3 minutes, of explaining what an exhibit is of an evidence. You're going to introduce that with your paperwork, and that's your proof. Now, an order against you, remember, the petitioner is supposed to introduce evidence of an injury in fact. Where is it? All these orders are summations. They're just, a summation is an overview of what went down. Okay? They never say any evidence. They never cite any evidence. They never say petitioner on such and such a date introduced the evidence. And the evidence, based on the evidence, this judge finds blah, 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 blah. Okay? Well, they don't. That's why the writ of mandamus is so important. All right, I'll say it again. The writ of mandamus paperwork is for a donation. That goes for everybody. So if you've given me a donation in the past, you got to give me a donation again. This is a completely different ball game. It's a different court. Okay, I got you this far for $100 or $125, whatever the hell I asked you. It wasn't a lot. Okay. It's a lot less than $2,000 that another channel's banging people out for. Okay? I've been more than fair. And along the way, I've been ripped off along the way. All right? And listen, pay me the courtesy of listening to the whole video. Because I may say something at the end of the video that you're missing out on something. You know how I am. I go on these little tangents, and if I bore you, I'm sorry. Okay? I don't like reading all your emails, but I do. And I respond to them. So pay me the courtesy. I'm doing this. I'm doing this to help people. Okay? And again, I'm not making a lot of money here. And if I shut down this channel tomorrow, I'll be fine. All right? My child support's over. Okay? I'm just paying people back. I'm trying to help people because I believe that if I do good, good will come back to me. And, and helping my fellow man and woman. Okay? But, pay me the courtesy of trying listening to my whole video. Okay? One guy was like, well, I don't like listening when you're going on about the haters. So listen, I'm a grown man. If somebody's going to attack me, somebody's going to push me, I push back. I was taught if somebody messes with me, I punch them in the nose. Okay? I don't believe in this bully bullshit. Okay? You know how you take care of a bully? You punch him in the nose. Well, I grew up, if you ran your mouth, you got a beating. That's what we called it. Okay? So you talk shit, you're going to get a beating. None of this pushing nonsense. So if some other idiot is talking shit about me and trying to say I'm a con man, I'm a fraud, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm gonna push back, like I did my other video, that dummy. The guy's too dumb to use a spell check. Okay, so I'm sorry if it, if I go off in my video and I start talking about that a little bit. All right, so listen, the writ of mandamus, to compel. You're compelling a lower court. The higher court is compelling a judicial body, an agency, a judicial officer to comply or compel them. Let's say you're asking for a discovery item. All right, the bank, interrogatory. You're telling me you're restraining my money. Where's the court order telling you to do that? Well, you got to contact the child support agency. No, you got to show me. That's the way it works in this country. Okay, so what the bank is doing, the bank is relying on hearsay. The bank is relying on a child support agency telling them that you owe them money on an order that was given to that child support agency. It's hearsay. It's completely illegal. That's the reason why you got to do the writ of mandamus. See, I just got done doing an email. That's why reading an email and explaining it to a guy. Everything that's going on against us with this is presumptive based. Everything's presumed. So it's presumed you were given due process. It's presumed you owe them money. It's presumed they're on welfare. Okay? It's presumed you owe a debt. Did I say that already? Maybe I did. But anyway, so you have to prove that these presumptions are not true. And presumptions are the opposite of due process. Okay? If due process is conducted the right way, there are no presumptions. Okay? So let's just say it's presumed that you went through a red light. Well, you showed proof. Well, I was home all day on this day. So, whoever said that police officer or that camera, that license plate is wrong, or I wasn't driving that day. You provide proof that you weren't driving that day, and that gets rid of the presumption. Okay? One guy was showing me, well, it says that you got 45 CFR 303.101, subsection C. Due process is provided, must be provided. We gotta prove it wasn't provided. That's the hard part. That's the reason why I'm making these videos. Okay, because we're trying to prove that it didn't happen. Okay, the paperwork is ready. All right, if you are interested in the paperwork, hit me up. And I purposely did this at the end of the video. Okay, I'll see what happens. I want to see how many people wait at the end of the video to reach out to me. All right, so listen, I'll talk to you guys later. I'll make another video tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.